Otago Maori had long made seasonal expeditions into Otago's interior to harvest food and gather other resources such as pounamu. They passed through the Tuapeka district en route to and from Mahinga Kai sites further inland. The first Pākehā settlers to follow them into the Tuapeka were the pioneer surveyors who explored and charted large areas of rolling grass country stretching westwards from the Maunga Range. They were quickly followed in the early 1850s by sheepmen like John Cargill, who began to develop extensive pastoral runs on its grasslands. These men, their families and those of their workers were sprinkled thinly across big distances and lived in splendid isolation. Surviving accounts by some of these pioneers recount the epic journeys required to get to the Tuapeka. Hard slogs across undeveloped country with numerous river crossings and the most basic of tracks to guide the way. In discovering the Tuapeka goldfield, Gabriel Reid had been supported by this run-holder community, staying with Cargill's shepherds and being guided by his men, who were already prospecting on their own account before he arrived. This community had also developed 3 different routes from Dunedin into the Tuapeka area, and it was these trails that the first diggers also followed in 1861. The first involved a sea journey down the coast from Dunedin to the Taieri River, then carrying on upriver by boat to Taieri Crossing near Lake Waihola. You would then proceed on foot through the Tokomairero area and across the hill country around Waitahuna to what would later become Gabriel's Gully. The second route was southward from Dunedin along Princess Street and up Caversham Valley via Lookout Point and along the western flank of Saddle Hill onto the Taieri Plain. The challenge here was the swampy wetlands of the plain, so travellers kept to the drier hill country on its flanks until they reached Taieri Ferry. From here, the track was the same as via the sea route, over the Tokomairero to Waitahuna and on to Gabriel's. The third way inland from Dunedin was via 3 Mile Hill and along the northern flank of the Taieri Plain to the river crossing at West Taieri, later Outram. From there, the track climbed up from the plain through Harvey's Flat and on behind the Maunga across the Waipori River and then heading due west to Tuapeka. This was the route recommended by the pioneer Otago postman Jock Graham, who began delivering mail inland in 1861. He subsequently had this map printed up in 1862 and sold copies of it to the diggers with his personal signature, as well as an image of him astride his horse to guarantee its authenticity. Whichever route they took, the first diggers faced no great natural barriers. Even the rivers were relatively easy to cross. It was still a hard slog over hilly country when weighed down with a heavy swag, but only 65 kilometres from Dunedin and no more than 2 days' walk. The biggest challenge was the endless mud, unavoidable no matter which route you took, and especially challenging for wheeled traffic before proper roads were developed.